Hey guys, how it going? This is Yara Spark. We are here today on another shipbuilding guide. Today I am here in the Corvette. Actually going to be doing an follow-up video on the Vet, and I've done some experimenting and some testing and some other shenanigans, and I have came up with a better Vet build. So, I mean, the other one is still good, and I would say is still reasonable and can be used. And probably fine, but this one I think is a lot better, and if you were to compare the Coriolis charts, you'd probably see why. There is different ways of outfitting this ship and different ways of doing it, but this is how I've done mine, and the Vet's kind of flexible, so it works out very nicely. So let's carry on, shall we? So y'all are familiar that the Vet is a great DACA build, and that's kind of what I've stuck with. This build can fit PAs in all of these slots and have the railguns here, so it still works very nice. And if you guys want me to do that as well, I can, but it is literally just a weapon swap. But what's nice about using the multi-cannons for some reason is that it takes less power. Usually it's the opposite way around when you use efficient PAs. So yeah, I'm guessing it has something to do with the huges, but don't know. But this is what I've been using for PvP and for BGS, and this is what I personally use as my workhorse, and it's served me very well. So far I've not died in it, but knock on wood. It's very tanky, and I actually really enjoy this ship quite a bit, and I think I wish I could give it a bit more love, but it's just not quite for me, but it still is a very good ship. So, as I said, let's go over the hard points. The two huges, the medium, the medium and the large are all overcharged incendiary, so nothing too drastic to go over. Basically, what's nice about this modification that is it does extra damage, it doesn't add too much distro draw, and it doesn't add that much heat, and really it's not that big of a deal, though I would run some pips in this weapon zone when you're firing, because it does get kind of spicy no matter what you do, no matter what power plant you have on this, so it is kind of just the nature of the beast. But I do run a small cannon with high capacity 4 or 5. I haven't quite got the 5 yet. I've been meaning to, keep forgetting, with dispersal to basically add a chaff effect on anyone else using gimbals on me, mostly big ships, but you never know. And then you also got high capacity for corrosive shell, which just adds a corrosive multiplier, also weakens the hull hardness, so it makes getting modules plus doing extra damage is always nice, and also helps assist your teammates also with this as well. So utility mounts, we are running we're running a whole bunch of shield boosters. We got most of them with heavy duty 5 with supercapacitor. It looks like we got 1A, 1's OC. Basically, I did this because of the power problem. Also, heavy duty 5, supercapacitor, and then I got another OA, another OA, another OA, and another OA, and then I have 2 OAs here. One with thermal resistant 5 supercapacitor, and then I got a resistant augmented 5 with supercapacitor. Basically, this adds some very lovely resistances, and I find myself not really having to deal with as much thermal problems or other taking a lot of damage now. I actually can soak up quite a bit more damage. This ship does have a huge megajoule shield stack, almost 7,700, so that's pretty nice in my opinion. And I'm sure you guys could get it up higher too if you want to add some Guardian modules, but you might have to change the power plant around. But speaking of power plant, let's get to that next almost. For the armor, we're running reactive surface composite with heavy duty 5 with deep plating. Very lovely. Also one of the best armors that you can have. As you guys will see in the optional, I do run a thermal resistant hull reinforcement packages to compensate for it being it. Heavy duty, or not heavy duty, 8A power plant, overcharged 3 with thermal spread to keep the thermals down. Luckily it's not actually that hot, and usually the ship can stay pretty cool, so that's nice. Also, we're running 7A thrusters for dirty drive tuning 5 with drag drives, basically the only mod that's actually worth using on thrusters, in my opinion. Unless you're exploring, then, well, that's a little bit different. We got a 6A frameshift drive. That is kind of the problem with this ship, guys. It does have the second worst jump range, if I'm correct, next to the gunship. So, be aware. It does hold quite a bit of fuel, but it can still get stuck. So, take that with a grain of salt. I personally have my carrier, and I personally run a fast boot 5 with mass manager, though the weight difference is probably not matter for strip down, so just get the extra little bit of light year jump range. The reason why I run fast boot is because I don't want to get annoyed by groms or FSD mines. Those things are obnoxious, so having something that re-snaps to FSD in this shape is really nice. Also, yeah, the reason why I don't run increased FSD range is because it adds a lot of heat. Also weight, which weight really isn't that big of a problem, but it also weakens it, and also getting ROM'd with that is very crappy. So doing this saves you a lot of hassle, and it's gotten me out of a lot of sticky situations, so lovely. But yes, it does not quite have the best jump range, so take that into consideration. I got a 5D life support with miscellaneous lightweight 5. I've actually surprisingly never lost my sensors or life support with how this ship runs, so pretty nice. It is up to you how you guys want to do this, so this might take more power. I can see if you want to run an 8A or run an 8D with long range in case you get far away from the battle. I can totally understand that, so it's up to you guys, but I do run lightweight 5 on the sensors as well. I keep the 32-ton fuel tank because that's not going to change anything. Weight for big ships really does not matter. But we got an 8A distro with charged hinge 5 with superconductance. This 8A distro is beautiful, though it still feels a bit lacking, but it is what it is. Now for the optional internals. We got a 7A prismatic shields. Apparently, a 7A Prismo, instead of a shield cell bank, does better than with a 6A Prismo and having a 7A shield cell bank. So it's a little wonky how that works, but you do get about an extra 3k megajoules if I'm correct doing it this way, so that is what I did update on it. I also do run the 7Bs and the 6Bs to add basically an extra tankiness to the ship. It adds extra megajoules. It makes your enemies focus on you a little bit harder, getting those banks or focusing on you, which is kind of nice as a distraction kind of point, but also just the extra megajoules in general. Also, they are, I don't know if I cover the 7A prismatic, but it is reinforced 5 with high cap. Probably the only thing worth using on prismatics, because you surely aren't going to be able to make them recharge faster. For this, I have 7Bs and 6Bs. They all have the same mod. You can run specialized 4. This build is set up to be able to do that. I'm just waiting to get my cutter so I can get that handled, and I'll take them both out and get them modded. But they do take specialized 3 with recycling. You can't put 4, as I said, and all of them also run that as well. Basically, this keeps it very nice and cool. Boots up faster, though you will have to turn 2 shield cell banks off and have 2 on, so it is a little bit of management that way. And I guess you could boost up the power plant, though I would rather try to keep it cool as possible, but that is just my opinion. I am also running a crap ton of hull reinforcement packages. Which one? Need to get this one upgraded. Yes. Okay, so these 4 5Ds are all heavy-duty hull reinforcement with deep plating. And then this 4D is the thermal-resistant hull 5 with deep plating. And then I do have 2 module reinforcement packages because keeping your modules protected in a big ship is very important. People will go for your FSD, your drives, and other important critical modules, including your power plant. So making sure you're tanky enough in case you lose your shields is very important, because torps and mines are still very much a thing that you should be worrying about. Though they are still fairly easy to evade, but it is still something you need to be sure you're paying attention for. I also do run an frameshift drive interdictor. The ship is actually very maneuverable, even in Super Cruise, so I've actually managed to interdict quite a few people in this ship, so yeah. Though that is kind of your preference, but I do recommend it, because it is just a 1 slot. And I do have a long range 1, though you can get it up to 4. I think my FSD drive interdictor turns off, though, when I deploy my weapons, but I'm not sure. But yeah, that covers it for the Corvette, in my opinion. I still think it's probably one of the best big ships in Elite Dangerous. I know the Cutter is a very popular choice, but people cannot deny that the Vet is such a good workhorse for BGS, PvP, AX, and everything else that has to do with this game as far as combat and everything else. It is locked behind the Fed rank grind, and it is the last rank you're, well, actually I should be able to tell you. Yeah, you're going to need Rear Admiral in order to get the Vet, which is a bit of a pain and a bit of a grind, but just do some courier missions in Fed space, and there's plenty of tutorial videos out there how to do it, or if you're Fed Pledge and working for the Federation, then it's probably just as simple as that also. But yeah, that covers it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please leave a like and subscribe. It does help the channel and helps with future content. Until then, guys, I'll catch you on the next one. See y'all.